Bernie Sanders, I want to get to now, but before we get to Bernie, the vice president will speak tomorrow night. He was in the hall today doing a test run. He was asked after that test run, you know, seems to be a lot of frustration with the Sanders people. Some of them are having a hard time accepting the results. Joe Biden says, give them a minute.
Right to have an outburst. They're going to be fine. Look, they worked hard. We had to show a little class and let them be frustrated for a while. It's okay.
Okay.
How long
John, you got it?
Vice President?
Hey, they're all going to end up voting for Hillary. Come on, man. Do you think any of these guys are going to walk in and vote for Trump? Raise your hand if you think any of the people who are protesting here or hollering are going to go vote for Trump.
Some say they will. Some say they will.
We're at less than 20%.
Then they didn't support what Bernie stands for. Thank you. Do you think they should they quarters every?
God love Joe Biden. It's not every day you get to be down on the convention floor with the vice president. It's usually security. He was supposed to be in Wilmington, you were saying. He got a little bored, apparently, decided to come up and be in the convention. Let's show, before we get to Bernie, I just want to show the energy in the hall last night. About 40 to 45% of the delegates are Bernie Sanders supporters. They're all wearing their T-shirts. They all have their buttons. They all have their signs. Some of them are moving in the unity way, but they want to celebrate one last time. Look at this energy last night. Thank you. Thank you. Now, he earned that. Bernie Sanders earned that. He was a PT boat against a battleship, I used to say during the primaries, and the PT boat put a lot of dents in the battleship. He made the case for Hillary Clinton last night. He made it quite aggressively, but he understands the skepticism among his supporters. So here he is this morning. I believe this is the California delegation. Sanders trying to make the case again, and as you see, there are some skeptics.
What we must do, or forever look back in regret, is defeat Donald Trump and elect Hillary Clinton. It is easy to boo, but it is harder to look your kids in the face who would be living under a Donald Trump presidency.
That's some of the toughest stuff that he said. Yeah, and I think it was off the cuff there. It may have been better for the party if he said that kind of thing last night at the convention to millions of people instead of this morning at the California delegation.
I think, like the vice president, he wanted to let his people sort of let off a little steam last night.
Tears down there. I mean, the emotion in that room, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought I was at Bernie Sanders' convention last night. It was to the rafters.
There was a sense last night, I think, that from the Clinton campaign, that they needed to let the Sanders supporters have Monday, have the opening night. He's the headline speaker. Elizabeth Warren, also a favorite of liberals, was the keynote speaker. They added actually extra Sanders supporters to the lineup at the last minute to give them more of a voice. I think they feel like now we can move on. I don't know if some of these Sanders supporters don't feel that way. But I think it was important to let them have this day.
And part of the reason they're having such problems moving on is because Bernie Sanders, for a year now, has talked about Hillary Clinton as being captive to Wall Street, as captive to the 1%, taking money from big donors. I mean, she was the enemy of the Sanders supporters, those diehard folks. And so now he's got to unwind that, and he's only been doing that for a while.
And the question is, how long does it take? I think we have a photo. R. Maeve Reston was on the floor last night. You guys are talking about the energy, and it was quite amazing. And they're excited to be here. Some of them are disappointed. They were crying when Bernie came out. I think we have a photo from Maeve she put on Instagram about some of the Sanders people on the floor. I also read on the air last night, I thought a fabulous tweet. A Des Moines Register reporter with the Iowa delegation had a Sanders supporter who said, well, Bernie gave us Mountain Dew for months, and now he's telling us to go to bed.
That's great. That's exactly right.
You can't put a revolution back in a box that easily, right? You're storming the Bastille. You don't just go back to your, your house that afternoon. So it's difficult. I would also point out to you,
but Republicans want to say, aha, disarray. Is it disarray and well, or is it
really concerned about the Sanders voters all of a sudden? They're like, look at them, they've been betrayed. They're going to go to Trump. They're not going to vote. And so the concern from Republicans has been kind of funny to watch.
I really think that this is different than what we saw in the Republican Party last week at their convention. I mean, optically, it certainly is, because you actually do have the whole Democratic Party here. You didn't have that in Cleveland. But I also think that some of these Sanders voters are already, when you talk to them, say, I don't like her, I don't trust her, but I'm going to vote for her. You are seeing that movement happen.
There were a lot of Republicans in Cleveland who don't think Trump belongs in their party.
Yeah.
Right,
Sanders voters just think Hillary's not liberal enough or progressive enough, but they don't question that she's a Democrat.
And two fast points. The polling reveals that right now there are more Sanders supporters who will support Hillary Clinton than this time 8 years ago, the Hillary supporters who said that they were going to back Obama. And then secondly, real fast, a lot of the people in the hall aren't really even Democrats. And I think it's important to keep that in mind. There are some hardcore Bernie people there who have no allegiance at all to the party. They don't care about unity. They are there for Bernie only.
That's a key point. Bernie became a Democrat last night officially, poured the cement. I don't mean that disrespectfully at all. He was an independent when he started the campaign. A lot of Democrats questioned his commitment to the party. They don't today because of what he said last night, because of what he said this morning. If Team Clinton is thrilled with what he said, the question is, can he bring his supporters along?